The way I would describe International District is it's a product of pre-civil rights era redlining. A lot of businesses have survived, or a lot of businesses have changed their names, and a lot of businesses have been passed down.
Seattle's International District is a bustling mix of old and new. And Mike Vu's Itsumono restaurant is one of the new wave of businesses that's keeping the neighborhood relevant and vital.
A lot of us are trying to preserve all that of what our grandparents or our parents brought, but also creating our own identity and saying, yeah, this is our culture. This is what it means to be an Asian American.
Phnom Penh Noodle House is one of those businesses that's been passed down. Diane Lee and Dawn Ong are two of the three sisters who have taken it over.
The restaurant was just an integral part of our upbringing, so we wanted to carry it on.
It means a lot because we've done so much around here. People know where we are and they know where to come.
Tu Win Tan and Ryan Catabay run Drag and Drop Creative, a multidisciplinary agency that has helped infuse the neighborhood with a fresh aesthetic.
We specialize in logos, websites, branding.
Did you already say websites?
We do websites, yeah, There's definitely a new energy. You see more young people, you see more of the same faces, and I really do feel like we have a strong community and we help each other out.
Despite the energy brought in by these young entrepreneurs, the past couple of years have been an especially tough period for the International District.
The neighborhood we see and experience today is not the neighborhood we grew up in or the neighborhood we want to see for the future. I think the biggest hurdles is the safety.
The start of the pandemic saw a drop in foot traffic and a rise in anti-Asian violence. And Seattle's ongoing spikes in crime and homelessness are each having visible effects.
We live on the Little Saigon side, and if you don't know what the Little Saigon side is, it's after the freeway. And, walking on that freeway is not as fun as it used to be.
International District is going through a lot of changes, and it's at a crossroads right now. There's a lot of development, and we're at a point where we're creating what Chinatown looks like right now.
As the neighborhood goes through this period of rapid growth, business owners point to some nonprofit developments as examples of how growth can occur while respecting the neighborhood character.
Because some of these developments are run by the neighborhood association like SCIPTA, and even in this development, there are certain parameters that they tried to keep to ensure that there's still some neighborhood identity. I mean, this is called Taibin. I think they're very intentional with the name of the building.
I think at least they're trying to make some accommodations to still keep a lot of the identity and the culture in these neighborhoods and try to preserve some piece of the history. If we can't keep these old buildings, we should at least try our best to preserve the history and keep talking about it.
Just to the northeast of the ID is an example of what the neighborhood is working to avoid. In the 1970s, Seattle's Central District was 70% black. Today, it is less than 20%. As Seattle gentrified, the historic character of that neighborhood was largely wiped out. In the ID, there are signs that process may be starting to repeat itself. And that's why these young entrepreneurs work so hard to maintain the neighborhood's identity as a cultural hub. Diane and Don are also motivated by the memories of what the neighborhood once was for their family.
We used to walk from Beacon Hill, that's where we lived, and come down to Chinatown, and we would just run all over.
When the sisters had to look for a new location in 2018, they briefly considered moving out of the neighborhood.
We looked at Renton and Kent, but nothing felt right. And our hearts came back to the neighborhood where we grew up and where we felt like this was just our neighborhood. This is where we should be.
Nancy Nomalini agrees. She opened her mother yoga studio during the pandemic and says the International District bridges many different cultures.
There's not an exclusivity of okay, this neighborhood is only for Chinese people. This neighborhood thrives on other neighborhoods and people coming into it to support the local shops.
Mike Vu says the diversity of cultures is a strength. It's a defining characteristic of both his restaurant and his neighborhood.
For me, I'm half Chinese, half Vietnamese. My business partner, he's first generation Japanese, so that means he immigrated here. My chef, fifth generation Japanese from Hawaii. We all see being American and living in America very differently. But we all agree that, we definitely want this place to be a safe place for everybody to come in, to basically have a taste of our culture.
Even with the challenges and uncertain future, the sisters behind Phnom Penh know they're in the right place.
There's no other neighborhood I'd rather be in. Like Seattle, CID, Little Saigon is it.
Watch CityStream Tuesday nights at 7 on the Seattle Channel, or find us anytime online at seattlechannel.org.